Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great most on the real world, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of certain truth. Um, yeah. Got the US basically, banging the war drums. Biden's been banging the war drums with like Russia and China. And it's funny because, well, there's two stories. But I'll touch on both. Okay, the first one says what? US says it will send troops to Eastern Europe if Russia invades Ukraine. It says what? On the eve of talks between Biden and Putin, European leaders say they have agreed to present a united front on aggression towards Ukraine. What sanctions could the US hit Russia with if it invades Ukraine? The US has said it would send reinforcements to NATO's eastern flank in response to a Russian invasion of Ukraine, as well as imposing severe new economic measures. In a warning to Moscow on the eve of talks between Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin, these men have been jockeying. Not even jockeying. These men have been jousting. Politically, because basically Putin's just he's on his crud. Putin's done been on his crud, and what is it? China. Putin's on his crud, and what's it called as well? And Biden's basically got a flex bicep or look like a clown. So it says Vladimir Putin. Biden will also make clear to Putin on Thursday that the US will not rule out future Ukrainian membership of NATO, as a Russian leader has demanded, a senior official said. On Monday, Biden spoke to European leaders in preparation for the Putin summit. Afterwards, Boris Johnson said that they had agreed to present a united front on Ukraine. So yeah, everyone, EU, NATO, link up to basically be like coming against Russia. But it's all prophecy. It's all prophecy, man. That's basically all just confirming prophecy is moving. Because China and Russia, well, I'll read a bit more. So it says US Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Monday spoke to Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky and reiterated Washington's unwavering support in the face of Russian aggression, the US State Department said. Zelensky said in a tweet that he and Blinken agreed to continue joint and concerted action, with an estimated 100,000 Russian troops already gathered within striking distance of the borders. The crisis is at its worst since 2015, when Moscow staged a large-scale incursion into Ukraine, clandestinely sending tanks and artillery to encircle Ukrainian troops and compelling Kiev to sign a peace agreement in Minsk that has since come close to collapse. The official pointed out in a briefing to reporters that the first Russian military intervention in Ukraine led to more US troops and equipment being deployed in Eastern Europe, and then there would be a similar response this time. It would certainly be the case if Putin moved in. There would be increasing requests from Eastern Flank allies and a positive response from the United States for additional forces capabilities. And that would be, World War III kicking off, man. That's the thing, is even if on a surface level it's not appearing like it's going absolutely nuts. That's basically it, as far as for now anyway, because it's where else is it gonna lead? Because other ones this as well. Jesus. With China basically, well, no, the US basically saying to China like, yo, we ain't gonna fuck with y'all like that. Basically. This shit's funny because it was man boycotting the Olympics. So China attacks US diplomatic boycott of Winter Games as travesty of Olympic spirit. Beijing dismisses no-show and says American officials had not been invited in the first place, as other countries considered their positions. Oh, it's just the government. Oh, so that's them just trying to be like, look, that don't mean shit, but you know they're trying to show like they're being strong on China. But it's like, hey, once that shit with China crumbles, bruv, the global economy is toast. Uh, okay, so China's I didn't start. China's reacted angrily to the U.S. government's diplomatic boycott of next year's Winter Olympics, as more countries said they would consider joining the protests over Beijing's human rights record. And New Zealand announced it would not send representatives to the games. As more, they would consider joining the process. Wait, so is it just the government? Let's see. What is it? Fuck, can I scroll down? No, apparently not. So Chinese officials dismissed Washington's boycott as a posturing and political manipulation. And tried to discredit the decision by claiming that U.S. diplomats had not even been invited to Beijing in the first place. Well, as confirmed on Monday, they would not send any official or diplomatic representatives to the Winter Games and Paralympics in February, given the PRC's ongoing genocide of crimes against humanity and other human rights abuses, which is hilarious, because like all the shit China's doing, after everyone's talking the most crud, like, yeah, I would never, like, I stand with blah blah blah, all that shit, cool, calm, excellent. But then like, how is it that cool, but then what do you call it, these guys are basically still fucking with China in all regards. Because even though he's saying like, oh, we're not coming to the thing, it's like, man, it's still got all kinds of deals with him. Despite that, that's the hilarity. But that's Esau's hypocrisy. They've presenting themselves like, they're so-called righteous, like they care about all the all the injustices happening in the world, but cash money, bruv. Yeah. The athletes on Team USA have our full support. We will be behind them 100% as we cheer them on from home. Yeah, I thought so. So the athletes are still going, so it don't mean shit. But yeah, it's essentially just, rumbling the war drums. Okay, that's weird. And just saying like, yo, we're not saying what we ain't gonna chill. But yeah, WW3. You start from 9, because WW3 9. This is essentially about what? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Proclaim war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Most High. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So this is about the heathen basically being brought in and made to do, made to fight, man, made to go to war. Because it's basically like the Lord bringing in that mass conflict, which is going to culminate what in America's end. Because that's the thing is America right now, presently, Russia and China are looking at them like y'all are clowns. But then why? Because looking at them mainly just because what do you call it? It's hella weird. Why? Because America's gone around, done all forms of madness on the earth, been a complete criminal and crook this whole time. But then what is fronting like they were moving righteously this whole time, which is completely wrong. So okay, Obadiah 1:1, and that's the thing is America's going to be the main place where everyone's going to have that disdain for, man. It says what? The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Most High Power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And that's really what's happened. Esau's been hitting that point where he's what? Greatly despised. Because there was a point in time where everyone was looking to Esau like he was some great, honorable, noble hero. But what? Time and time again, more and more details of how this guy's been a crook, been a criminal. All he's been thinking about is that cash money, man. All he's been thinking about is essentially how he's sustaining himself. But then what? In reality, all that so-called honor and glory that he covered himself with was how was it gained, man? It was basically he was able to all that so-called honor and glory was him presenting, what he did in history. He was the one writing the stories of he was able to put himself. He was able to put himself as the hero in history. He was able to put himself as a variety of different nations in history. He was basically able to what do you call it? Present himself like he only moved righteously. But the reality's come out. It's like, this guy has always been a crook, and it's like now it's just been become evident that that's so. It said what? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in a cleft of the rocks, whose habitation is higher, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's the thing, is this applies for all Esau, because all Esau was in the clefts of the rocks. That's going back to most recently it was what? Georgia, Russia, man. Which that's where you have all of Esau. All of Esau basically came through from. But then what? That's where all of them came through from. But now there are Odds. Uh, Matthew 12 and 25, it says, And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And it's funny because even on the, you've got on the national scale, I was gonna say China, like between Russia and the US, you have that discord, but then you also have it with like what the UK, Europe. You have it even within countries. You have like the like Labour and Conservatives, and there's girls on like dating apps where they say I don't date Tories, and and these kinds of things. There's all forms of divides, man. Like there's division. It says if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then should his kingdom stand? And that's the thing. That's what with this war. What's going on between Russia and America? Satan divided against Satan. Esau against Esau. How's the kingdom gonna stand? But then that's his hubris, man. That's his pride. This guy thinks that he's gonna basically be able to get around these scriptures. Let me skip down to verse. So Obadiah 1 and 7. Well, it's up in 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah. That's all those, former friends, allies, and that's the thing. It's like how a lot of how the US got allies. It's the same with like the British Empire. Now you got the Commonwealth. These guys are just ex conquered lands where they basically were forced to fuck with what do you call it, the UK. Well, Britain. I guess it would be the British. They were forced to fuck with the British Empire. But then what? Like after the Commonwealth, it's like the relationship was already there. That's why them man would go over to, you had like the Empire Windrush, where you had like Jakes come from the islands over, do all kinds of work, build up here, but then get no love, because there were tributaries, man. And then what? Same thing with the US. The US, it's like with Japan. Man blew up Japan, then forced them to be like one of their top what the fuck is it called? One of the top not provide what's the allies. One of the top allies, man. Same for Germany. Germany got fucking invaded. Then what? Man split. Had the split East Berlin, West Berlin, East Germany, West Germany, where they totted up. German resources, German research, all these things to develop themselves. Fucking hell. Jesus. But hey, all them allies, everyone's gonna be turned. It says what? They that eat that bread have laid a wound under thee. There's no understanding in them. Everyone is eating off you, man. That's the thing. Everyone's eating off America. Oh wait, no, it's 18. I'm thinking of. I think it's like. Revelation 18 and 15. It says, well, I can skip down. So it says, be not partakers of our sins. Yeah, Revelation 18:9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Yeah, they're gonna be bewailing, bemoaning, you know, the destruction basically going down on on America, because why? It means they're catching the L. They were able to live good, man. They're thinking like, yo, what's is anything ever gonna be as good as America was? Which is really that's the mindset. That's how everyone's uh looking at these things. They're thinking like, yo, is like how's it gonna hit America's levels? But then that shows how how indoctrinated people are. Because when you deal with America, America is it's what this is the final run, man. This is the iron and miry clay. This is one of the lowest quality wise. Now Esau has technology, has certain miracles where he can do certain things. But then what? It's still like, as far as on the quality of the kingdom, it's lame, man. It's real low. Turning forward, okay. From 1 hour is thy judgment come. It says, okay, and let's skip down. To 15, it says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all company and ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw, yeah, them shipmasters you saw with when that ship got stuck in what was it, the Suez Canal, I believe it was, when that ship got stuck for like less than a week, like 3-4 days, some shit like that. That ship was like, if it stays there too long, it would destroy the whole global economy, bro. The whole trade of the world will be stopped up. Them ships are part of the lifeblood and what keeps this whole global economy moving. Everyone getting their goods, man. Everyone making money. Everyone able to live a certain kind of lifestyle, man. But then what? Okay, let me read on it. It says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What cities like unto the sea? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein was made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Yeah. Everyone's able to make money. Everyone's able to sell their goods. Everyone's able to enjoy themselves, live good. All these all these things seemed spectacular, seemed great, man. Like they were never gonna end, man. One never ending party. That's really what, the dream of America. But then what that's gonna come to naught. But yeah, that conflict's coming, man. But leave it there. I say all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Hashem Harakah Kadash. Shalom.